The wind was sharp like knives. Snow blew across the land, hiding the broken rocks and old metal parts buried long ago. This planet had no name now. No one remembered it. No one came here anymore, but some still lived. They were not human. Thin. Bodies, gray-blue skin, large eyes that glowed faintly in the dark. They were once proud people. Now, they were only survivors. One of them, a young female named Lyra, stood near the cave entrance. Her feet were bare. Her arms wrapped around her body. She wore nothing like the others. There were no clothes left. No fire, only cold. Lyra looked. At the sky, it was always gray, no sun, no stars. Just clouds and silence. How much longer? Whispered a small voice behind her. It was Toma, a child. Lyra didn't answer. What could she say? There was no food. No warmth. Many had died last. Winter. More would die this time. We should leave, said Jarn, one of the older males. There's nothing here. Where would we go? Lyra asked softly. There is no place for us. They had been forgotten. Years ago, there was war. A big one. Their people chose to help the humans. Not everyone liked that. After the war, they were punished. Left here to freeze. No ships came. No help. Only the cold. Suddenly the wind changed. Lyra smelled something strange, burning metal. She looked up. Far in the sky. A light, a red spark, growing bigger, fast. It was not a star. It was a ship. Her eyes widened. Others ran out of the cave. They looked up, blinking against the snow. It's a drop ship. Someone shouted, It's human. No, Jarn said. It can't be. Humans don't come back. But it was real. The ship slowed down, hovering just above the ground. Heat melted the snow below it. A ramp lowered with a soft hiss. Warm orange lights lit the inside. Then footsteps. A figure stepped out. Heavy boots, thick jacket. Helmet? On a human, he walked slowly, hands raised to show peace. He looked around at the thin figures staring at him. Lyra didn't move. Her heart was loud in her chest. The human stopped. He looked at Lyra. She looked back. Cold wind blew between them. He spoke. 4 words. Come with me, please. The voice was calm. Not angry. Not commanding, just kind. The others didn't move. No one trusted humans anymore. They had been left behind, but something in Lyra shifted, a small hope, a small warmth. She took one step forward. The human didn't move. She took another step. Then another. Lyra, no, Jarn shouted. You don't know what he wants. But Lyra kept walking. When she reached the ramp, the heat touched her skin. She almost cried. Her feet, her hands, they were not hurting anymore. The human removed his helmet. He was young, brown hair, tired eyes. He looked at her like she mattered. He held out his hand. Lyra looked back. The others stood in the snow, watching, scared, silent. Then she looked forward and took his hand. He led her up the ramp. Inside, the ship was warm. Lights glowed. Machines hummed. There was a smell, clean air, food, something she hadn't felt in years. The human gave her a soft blanket. She wrapped it around herself. It felt like heaven. She wanted to cry, but didn't. Why? She whispered, Why are you helping us? The human looked at her. Because your people helped us. Long ago, we remember. Lyra didn't know what to say. The human smiled. We are not like the others. Not anymore. She sat down slowly. Her body relaxed for the first time in years. The door stayed open. She looked outside. With the others. Come? She hoped so. They had nothing, no clothes, no food, no future. But now, maybe they had a chance, and all it took was 4 simple words from a human. Come with me, please. Lyra sat quietly inside the ship. The floor was warm. The air smelled like something clean, something safe. Her fingers held the soft fabric of the blanket the human gave her. She had never touched anything like it. Outside, the cold wind still screamed across the land. The door of the ship was still open. 5 more of her people had followed her. Silent, scared, thin. They stood now inside the ship, looking around like lost children. The human stood near the wall, pressing buttons on. A screen, strange lights blinked. Then he turned around and spoke. My name is Captain Ray, he said. You are safe now? Lyra looked up. Where are you taking us? Ray smiled gently. To a better place. A station, warm, full of food, water, clothes. It's not perfect, but it's better than this. The others looked at each other. Some nodded, some looked unsure. Why now? Asked the voice. It was Juno, one of the older females. Why come back after so long? Ray paused. He sat down on a bench and looked at them with tired eyes. I read your history, he said. Long ago, when humans were at war, your kind helped us. Secretly, you gave us information, you gave us shelter, you saved lives. Lyra's eyes widened. She had heard stories as a child, but no one believed them anymore. My grandfather, Ray said, was a pilot during that war. He crashed. Everyone thought he died, but he didn't. He looked at Lyra. He was saved by a girl. One of you, just like you. The room was silent. She hid him. Fed him. When the war ended, she was gone. We never knew her name. Ray took a deep breath. That girl was the reason my grandfather lived, and I am the reason I came back. Juno crossed her arms. Many years passed. No human returned. We cried, we died, we waited. Ray nodded. I know, I'm sorry. Some of us forgot, some didn't care, but not all. There was pain in his voice. Real pain. Suddenly, a soft sound came from the wall. A small screen lit up. Ray stood. He pressed a button. A voice came from the speaker. Captain Ray, report. Did you find them? Ray replied, yes, 6 survivors on board. More might come. Understood. We'll prepare medbays. Are they stable? Ray looked at them. Barely, he said. The voice went quiet. Lyra stood slowly. Her legs were weak. Are there more humans? Like you? She asked. Ray smiled. More than you think? He walked to a cabinet and opened it. Inside, boxes of food, bottles of water, clean white clothes. Please, he said, eat, drink, change. There are beds down the hall. Lyra didn't move at first, but then her stomach growled. She hadn't eaten in 2 days. She stepped forward, took a food pack, opened it. The smell almost made her cry. She ate in silence. The others followed. Juno looked at a jacket and slowly put it on. It didn't fit perfectly, but it was warm. She closed her eyes. The ship began to move. Slowly, gently, they were leaving. Lyra walked to the window. Outside, the white land moved below them. The cave was disappearing in the distance. She thought of the others, dozens still left behind. Too afraid to follow. Will you come back? She asked. Ray came beside her. Yes, he said. Again and again, until all who want to leave are safe. Lyra looked at him. She didn't trust him fully yet, but something inside her began to change. Where is this station? She asked. Ray pointed at the sky. Orbit. Above this world, we rebuilt it. It has power, it has light. Lyra blinked. Orbit. She had forgotten what stars looked like. Now she would see them again. Suddenly, a beep. Louder this time. Ray looked at the control panel. He frowned. What is it? Lyra asked. Ray pressed a button. A map appeared on the screen. A red dot blinked. Another ship? She guessed. Ray nodded. But not one of ours. He looked serious now. Then whose? I don't know, he said. The ship continued to rise. The stars were visible now. Black sky. Endless space. Lyra stared. Do you think they will hurt us? She asked. Ray looked out the window. The red dot was getting closer. I hope not, he said. But we'll be ready. He turned to her again. Lyra, he said softly, this journey is just beginning. The stars outside the ship were cold and bright. Lyra had never seen them from this close before, not since she was a child. The white planet below them shrank slowly as the ship climbed into orbit, but something else was growing closer. A red blinked on the ship's screen, not ours. Captain Ray had said. The others were quiet now, dressed in clean clothes, fed and resting. But the tension was growing again. The cold might be gone, but danger was still near. Lyra stood near Ray. You think it's the enemy? She asked. Ray's eyes stayed on the screen. Could be, he said. If it is, we'll find out soon. He tapped the controls and a second window appeared. A small camera view. At first, Nothing. Then a dark shadow moved across the stars. Ship. Black, sharp-edged, silent. Not human. And not one of Lyra's kind either. What are they? She asked. Ray didn't answer at first. Then he said a word that made her blood go cold. Drexer. Lyra stepped back. That name was old, a name whispered in stories. A name tied to war, death, and fire. I thought they were all gone, she sighed. So did we, Ray replied. But war always leaves shadows. The Drexler ship moved closer but didn't fire. It just watched. They're scanning us, Ray said. Probably trying to understand why a human ship is here. Lyra looked at her people. Toma, the child, held Juno's hand tightly. They'll remember us too, Juno whispered. They hated us. Ray nodded. Because your people stood with us, Lyra frowned. Why does no one know this story? Why did humans forget? Ray turned away from the screen and looked her in the eyes. They didn't forget, he said. They erased it. Lyra blinked. What? Ray sat down and opened a small case. Inside were thin metal chips, memory drives. My grandfather kept records, letters, video. He spoke of a girl who hid him in the caves. Your people helped many pilots like him. But the war ended, Ray continued, and politics took over. Humans were told to move on, to clean the records. Focus on victory, not help. He looked angry now. Your story was buried to protect pride. Your kindness was deleted because it made some leaders look weak. Lyra's hands clenched. All of this time, she said. We thought you forgot us. We thought we meant nothing. Ray shook his head. You meant everything. That's why I came. The Drexler ship was still following, but not attacking. Ray spoke into the com. Control, this is Ray. We have visual on unknown vessel. Drexler class, no hostile action yet. Copy that, came the reply. Maintain course to station. Don't engage. Ray nodded and closed the channel. Let's hope they're just curious, he said. The station came into view. Huge, round, covered in silver panels. It spun slowly with lights blinking on its arms. Lyra gasped. It's beautiful. Ray smiled. It used to be a mining hub. We rebuilt it. Now it's a home. The ship docked smoothly. The doors opened. With a soft hiss. Warm air flowed and waiting inside the station were more humans. Some in uniforms. Others in medical suits. They didn't stare at Lyra's people with fear or hate. They smiled. A human woman stepped forward. I'm Doctor Helen, she said. We've prepared rooms and medical scans. Toma hid behind Juno. It's okay, Ray said. They're here to help. Lyra stepped forward. She let the doctor scan her arm. A light passed over her skin, then beeped. Malnutrition? Cold. Exposure, but stable, the doctor said. She looked at Lyra kindly. You're safe now. Lyra's people were led gently into the station, into warm rooms. Clean beds. Lights on the ceiling that didn't flicker, Lyra stayed behind with. Ray, she looked through a wide window at the stars. Then she asked, if we helped in the war, why did our own leaders punish us? Ray sighed. Because helping humans was seen as betrayal. Some of your leaders wanted power, control. Helping us made them weak in the eyes of their enemies. He pulled out another chip from his coat. This is your history. I'll show it to the others. I'll help tell your story. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. We don't need statues, she said. Just not to be forgotten again. Ray nodded. Outside the window. The Drexler ship moved slowly past the station. Watching. Waiting. A warning. Ray looked at it. History isn't finished, he said. Lyra whispered. Then we must write it ourselves. Asterisk inside the station. Everything felt too quiet. The air was warm. The lights were soft. But something was wrong. Lyra sat near the wide window, watching the black sky. Stars looked peaceful, but her heart wasn't. The Drexler ship still floated nearby, silent. Watching like a ghost in the dark. Captain Ray stood beside her. He hadn't slept. His eyes were red. Why don't they leave? She asked. Ray shook his head. They're waiting for something. He turned to the console. His fingers moved quickly across the screen. Numbers changed. Maps shifted. Then he paused. A small red light blinked on the edge of the screen. What is that? Lyra asked. Ray leaned in closer. His face changed. He looked more serious now. It's a signal, he said, encrypted and not from us. He pressed a few buttons. A strange sound played through the speakers, sharp clicks and tones. Almost like music, but broken. Lyra tilted her head. Is that language? Ray nodded slowly. It's Drexer code, very old. From the war, the message repeated again. Click, beep, silence. Then again. Ray tapped the panel. We need to know what it says. He walked quickly down the hallway toward the control room. Lyra followed him. Inside, the room was filled with screens, lights, and 2 human officers. One of them looked up. Captain, we've isolated the signal, the officer said. It's not aimed at us. It's going to the surface. Lyra stepped closer. The surface? Our old camp? The officer nodded. Ray frowned. Then the Drexer. Know who's still down there. Lyra's heart dropped. There are still many of my people in the caves, she said. They didn't follow me. Ray stared at the map. If the Drexer are sending messages, they're trying to talk to them. Or trick them, Lyra said quietly. Silence filled the room. Ray turned to her. We need to go back. Lyra didn't hesitate. Then I'm going with you. He looked at her. It might be dangerous. They're my people, she said. If you're risking your life, I'll risk mine too. The dropship shook as it entered the planet's atmosphere. Cold clouds rushed past the windows. Below, the ice field stretched for miles. Ray and Lyra sat side by side. 2 others were with them, armed humans in dark armor. Just in case, Lyra stared out the window. Do you think they'll believe us? She asked. Or believe the Drexer? Ray said nothing for a moment, then, fear makes people choose wrong. That's why we have to speak first. The ship landed. With a soft thud. The cold hit them like a wall. But this time, Lyra wore boots and a thick coat. Her breath came out in soft clouds, not painful gasps. The old camp looked the same. Caves, broken walls, footprints in the snow, dozens of her. People stood outside, confused, afraid. Then someone stepped forward. It was Jarn, the skeptic. The one who had warned her not to trust Ray. You came back, he said. His voice was cold. Lyra nodded. I told you he meant no harm. We know the Drexer ship is here, Jarn said. We saw the shadow pass, then we heard a voice. Lyra's eyes narrowed. What did it say? Jarn looked at the others. It said we don't belong with humans, that they only used us. That if we stay with them, we'll die when they do. Some people murmured agreement. Others looked unsure. Ray stepped forward. They're lying, he said. They fear unity. They want you divided, a woman shouted. And what do humans want? Ray looked around. I want your story told, your lives saved. I don't want anything in return. Jarn stepped forward. They say you'll bring war back. That helping you again will kill us. Lyra looked at him with steady eyes. We helped. Once we were punished. But hiding didn't save us either. The cold still killed us. The silence still hurt. Ray looked up at the sky. A distant dot was falling fast. What is that? Lyra asked. Ray's face changed. A probe, he said. Drexer tech, they're sending machines. The dot grew brighter. Everyone looked up now. Ray shouted, Get to cover! Now! The probe slammed into the ice far away. Not an explosion, but a loud, heavy landing. A sharp antenna unfolded. Lights blinked. It began sending something. Lyra grabbed Ray's arm. They're trying to control us. Ray pulled out a small device and scanned the air. Radio override, he said. They're pushing thoughts. Old war tech. Jarn looked around. Some people seemed dizzy, confused. They're trying to turn us against each other. Lyra stood tall. We must choose now, fear or future. She turned to Ray. We fight this together. Ray nodded. And in that moment something changed. The people around them, old, tired, scared, took one step closer toward hope. The probe kept blinking, a tall black tower in the snow, humming with strange energy. Its thin antenna glowed red, pulsing like a heartbeat. Cold wind rushed around it, but the sound was louder now, not in the ears but in the mind. Fear, distrust, Hate. Lyra felt it pressing inside her skull. She gritted her teeth and turned away. Captain Ray stood beside her, holding the scanning device tightly. His face was pale, focused. "They're sending emotional triggers," he said. "Old Drexler. Tech, this isn't just a message. It's a weapon." Jarn stood behind them, watching the probe with narrowed eyes. "My head hurts," he muttered. "I see images, fire, death, my people burning." Lyra stepped forward and faced him. "It's not real. It's not now. That's what they want. To control you through memory." He looked at her. For the first time, he didn't argue. The crowd of her people stood farther back. Some held each other. Some cried. Others looked lost, their eyes dull like sleepwalkers. Ray turned to Lyra. "We need to shut it down, fast." "But if we break it," she said, "won't they know we're resisting?" Ray nodded. "They already know." He pointed to the sky. High above, the Drexler ship was moving again, not slow this time, but fast, purposeful, angry. Lyra's chest tightened. "We don't have time," she said. "Do it!" Ray pulled a device from his coat, a pulse grenade. He walked slowly through the snow toward the probe. The humming grew louder. The red light flashed faster. He stopped 10 feet away. The wind pushed against him. The sound stabbed deeper into his brain. Still, he stood tall. He dropped the grenade into the snow, pressed the trigger, and turned. The explosion was soft, just a blink of blue light. Then silence. The red antenna stopped pulsing. The hum died. The air felt lighter. People blinked, looked around. The fog in their minds was gone. Ray walked back slowly. Jarn helped him up the last step. "You didn't run," Jarn said. "Didn't plan to," Ray replied. Lyra turned to her people. "You felt what they did," she said. "That was just one machine. Imagine what the whole ship can do." The crowd was quiet. Then a woman stepped forward. Her name was Saren. She had lost her brother to cold last winter. "We can't hide anymore," she said. "We followed Lyra because we wanted to live. I still do." More people nodded. Ray looked up again. The Drexler ship was growing closer. "They're coming," he said. "Probably sending a ground team." "Then we prepare," Lyra said. Ray frowned. "You don't have weapons." "No," she said. "But we have each other. We know this. Land, and now we have you." An hour passed. Ray and his crew handed out shields, tools, small shock weapons. Lyra's people used old metal to build barriers, dig trenches, create traps. Children helped carry supplies. For the first time in years, the frozen camp was alive with purpose. Above, the Drexler ship opened its lower bay. Something dropped. Not a probe. Person. Tall, armored, moving through the air with a soft blue jet on its back. It landed in the snow, graceful, silent. Lyra's eyes narrowed. The helmet folded back. The face underneath was familiar. Gray skin, black markings. Long, sharp eyes. Not Drexler, her own kind. "Vecker," she whispered. Ray looked confused. "Who is he?" "My brother," she said. Ray stared. Vecker walked forward alone, hands open. "I came to speak," he said. Lyra stepped forward. "But not too close? You're working with the Drexler?" Vecker nodded. "They offer protection, power, future." "At what cost?" she asked. "They will leave us alone if we leave the humans. They said the same during the war," Lyra said. "And then they burned our cities." Vecker's face twisted. "We are weak now. We need allies." Lyra shook her head. "We need truth. We need freedom." He took a step closer. "Come with me, sister. I can keep you safe." She didn't move. "I already chose," she said. "I chose hope." Vecker looked sad. "You always were the dreamer." He turned around. And as he walked back toward the edge of the ice, a new sound filled the air. Engines. Heavy ones. A Drexler transport was landing. Ray looked at Lyra. "Time's up?" She nodded. "Then we fight, not for revenge, not for hate, but so we never kneel again." Ray handed her a weapon. She didn't flinch. Behind them, her people stood tall, ready, no longer afraid. The cold was still there, but now they had fire in their hearts. The snow fell quietly. Too quiet. The Drexler transport had landed. Its black frame cut through the white land like a scar. The doors opened with a hiss, but no one stepped out yet. Tension hung in the air like ice. Lyra stood at the front of her people. Captain Ray was beside her, his coat covered in frost. One hand resting on his holstered weapon. Behind them, makeshift walls and shields covered the old cave camp. It wasn't much, but it was theirs. From the Drexer ship, Vecker stepped out. Again, alone, he raised his hands. No weapons. I come to speak, Ray whispered. He's stalling. Lyra nodded. But she stepped forward anyway. She had to face him. Vecker walked until they stood only a few feet apart. I asked you to come with me, he said softly, and I answered. Lyra replied. He looked past her at the gathered crowd. Your people are not soldiers, he said. They're tired, starving. They'll die in another war. No, she said. They die only when they have no reason to live. Vecker frowned. The Drexer don't want war. They sent a mine weapon. She said, they tried to poison us from inside. That was fear, he said. A warning, not an attack. Ray stepped closer. You don't send warnings to friends. Vecker ignored him. He looked at Lyra again. They gave me an offer, he said. One chance to end this without blood. Lyra's breath slowed. She already knew what was coming. They want Captain Ray. The crowd behind her shifted, small gasps. Someone whispered, Give him up. Vecker's voice was calm. They say if we hand over the human alive, they will leave this planet. No battle, no fire, no more pain. Ray didn't speak. He stood still, eyes on the snow. Lyra's mind raced. She looked at her people, Jarn, Saren, the children. Some looked at the ground. Others looked at her, waiting. Was it really that simple? Give up one man and save them all? He came back for us, she said, when no one else did. Vecker stepped forward. He is one man, and they are many. Choose survival. Jarn stepped forward. His voice was careful. Lyra. If what he says is true, Lyra turned to him, eyes sharp. You would sell our future for silence? Jarn looked away. Ray finally spoke. If handing me over saves them, do it. Everyone turned to him. I knew this could happen, Ray said. And I don't regret coming. Lyra stepped in front of him. No, she said. Ray looked confused. Lyra, you're not just one man, she said. You're proof that someone remembered us, that we still matter. Vecker's voice grew colder. If you don't give him up, they will come. You'll lose everything. Lyra straightened. Then let them come. The Drexer transport hissed again. A second figure stepped out. Tall, armored, eyes like ice. Drexer commander. He didn't speak. He simply stared. Then, slowly, he raised one long arm and pointed at Ray. The choice was clear. Ray pulled out his weapon. He didn't aim, just held it. Lyra reached out, lowering his arm. We don't fire first, she said. We stand first. Behind them, Saren stepped forward. Then Jarn, then others, one by one. They moved behind Lyra, children, elders, fighters, and farmers. No one moved toward the Drexer. Vecker looked around, eyes filled with something like regret. You would risk it all for this human? Lyra nodded. Once. We already lost everything before. What we found now, unity, hope, we won't lose that again. The Drexer commander turned and walked back into the ship. The ramp began to close. Ray frowned. That's it. No, Lyra said. It's just beginning. Suddenly, a sound like a scream across the sky. Missiles. The Drexer ship wasn't leaving. It was firing. Get down. Ray shouted. The first missile hit the ice far from camp. A warning shot. Snow exploded into the air. The next would not. Miss, Vecker turned, face pale. This was not the plan, he said. Lyra looked at him. Then stop it. He paused, then ran back toward the ship, shouting in his language, but the Drexer commander didn't stop. Inside the camp, humans and Lyras. People braced together. Ray raised his cum. Station control, hostile confirmed. Full engagement likely. Send support. Copy, reinforcements inbound. But would they arrive in time? Lyra stood tall at the front line. We didn't choose war, she said. But we choose each? Ray nodded beside her, and behind them the camp stood, not as humans or aliens, but as one. The ice cracked beneath their feet. The Drexer missile struck the far ridge, throwing snow and rock into the sky. The ground shook. Children screamed. Lights flickered, but no one ran. Lara stood tall at the center of the camp, her coat whipping. In the wind, Captain Ray stood beside her, eyes on the sky. His weapon was ready. We won't survive another hit, he said. Lyra nodded. Then we must make sure they don't send another. Above, the Drexler ship hovered like a beast in the clouds. Its second missile was loading, slow, visible, terrifying. Ray's come buzzed. This is Station Command, drop team inbound. Ada, 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Too long. Vecker's voice came from behind them. They won't wait. The commander sees this as betrayal. He wants to erase you, Lyra turned. Then why are you still here? Vecker looked at her. His face was no longer hard. It was tired. Human, almost. Because I made the wrong choice before, he said. But maybe I can fix it now. He pulled a small device from his belt, Drexler Tech, glowing faintly. What is that? Rayos.VKAR held it out. Remote override. I was given access in case things went wrong. They did, Lyra said. Very wrong. Vecker pressed the device. A soft pulse echoed through the air. The Drexler ship paused. The missile stopped loading. Ray's eyes widened. You froze their targeting? Not for long, Vecker said. A few minutes, maybe less. Lyra didn't waste time. She turned to her people. This is our moment. We don't attack. We don't destroy. We show them who we are. Jarn stepped forward. What do you mean? We walk toward them, she said. Unarmed. Gasps filled the crowd. They won't understand that, someone said. They will, she said, because they expect fear. We give them courage, Ray looked at her. Are you sure? No, she said. But I believe it's right. Ray nodded. Then he lowered his weapon. Lyra walked toward the Drexler ship, alone at first. Then Vecker joined her. Then Ray. Then Jarn, Saren, children, elders, 100 steps in silence. The Drexler ship didn't fire. Its doors opened again. The commander stepped out, cold and tall, his armored face unreadable. He raised one hand, not to shoot, but to signal. Confusion. What was this? Lyra stood just meters away. She met his gaze. We are not weapons, she said. We are not prey. We are not tools to be traded. The commander tilted his head. Ray stepped forward. She speaks for all of us. If you fire again, you won't just kill them. You'll start a war with us. Silence. Then a voice from above. Station control to Captain Ray. We have ships locked on target. Say the word. Ray looked at the commander. No more war, he said. Stand down. A long pause, then slowly the Drexler commander lowered his hand. His soldiers inside the ship stepped back. The missile lights shut off. Ray let out a slow breath. We're still alive, he whispered. The commander spoke for the first time. Strange creatures, he said. You choose peace even when you could be crushed. Lyra answered softly, because peace is stronger than fear. The commander looked at Vecker. You are banished. Vecker nodded. I already knew. The Drexler ship rose silently, turning away. No more weapons. No more threats. As it vanished into the sky, the sun broke through the clouds. Weak, but real. The first sunlight in weeks. Hours later, the drop team arrived. Medical care, supplies, blankets, laughter. Lyra sat on a crate, holding a warm drink. Ray sat beside her. You did it, he said. No, she smiled. We did it. People were building now. Not just shelters, but something new. A home, children drew in the snow. Others planted heat rods in the ground. No one felt cold anymore. Vecker approached, wearing a human coat. His face was calm. I don't belong here or there now, he said. Lyra smiled. Then build something new with us. He looked at Ray. You still trust me? Ray reached out and shook his hand. Welcome to the team. Later that night, as stars filled the sky, Lyra stood alone at the edge of the camp. Ray joined her. What will you do now? He asked as she looked up. We tell the truth, she said. We tell our story. No more silence, no more shame. Ray nodded. The universe will listen. A pause. You really think peace can last? He asked. She smiled. No, but I think we can make it stronger, one voice at a time. The wind was gentle now. The ice didn't feel so cold. They had nothing. Once. Now they had each other, and that was everything.